I want to talk to you today about something that's really been on my mind lately, and maybe it'll resonate for you as well. But it's the difference between hustling and attracting. So I'm currently finishing up a few programs within my business. And so since the beginning of the year, I've been pretty actively engaged in work and really taking very little time off. And even when COVID stuff hit just recently, I know for a lot of people that shifted how they work, and it certainly impacted my work because I do live retreats and that's not possible in the circumstances we're in right now. But I also have a lot of online work, and I just sort of started doubling down on my online efforts and working with my private clients and stuff. So I found that I was actually quite busy, and in some ways busier, when we started quarantining and being in isolation and stuff. So now as that's beginning to ease up a little bit, and these two programs I've been leading are wrapping up, I find that there's a little bit of space in my calendar, which feels really nice at this point. Right? It's kind of like a deep sigh. It feels really good. And there's a part of me that I can feel compelled to like hustle for what's next. Like, okay, I need to create what's next, think of what's next, start talking about the next program, or start talking about retreat when that's going to happen. Maybe I need to create a virtual retreat. Maybe I should do this, I should do that, and it's got this really kind of frenzied energy to it. It's like, oh shit, I need to do something. What am I going to do now? And yet, when I get still and I really kind of check in with my heart, I keep getting the same message, and it's to rest and to play. And so it's leave me thinking about this idea of hustling versus what I relate to as a much more feminine approach, which is that of attracting and or receiving. So I'm not a real big fan of the hustle. I've done it plenty in my life, and to a certain degree it works, which is to say, like, aggressively or forcefully or very actively going after what I want, no matter what the cost. And I happen to have a very assertive personality, so it's very easy for me to lean towards what I want in a very active way. In fact, it's taken a lot of growth work to relax and not be so, I want that, let me go get it. And be more open to something coming to me. And there's a work involved in attracting and receiving as well. And like I said, it's a much more feminine, if we kind of put it in the terms of masculine and feminine, it's a much more feminine approach that it does take some intentionality and some work in order to be receptive to what wants to come. And I know that for me right now, and just in my life in general, for the last several years, I've been making much more effort to work in ways that are less effortful, if that makes sense. So to be more receptive and more inviting. And that means creating a space around me in which things can come to me, and putting myself in a place where I'm open and receptive, which I find requires much more trust that life is going to take care of me, that things are going to work out, that I don't have to push so hard, but that there are other forces working on my behalf. And so a much more joyful, playful, light way to go about manifesting or creating is to play more, rest more, and then when some inspired action presents itself, have the courage and the faith to move on it. So anytime I'm feeling burned out, tired, resentful, stressed, pressured to hustle, any of that, that's my cue that I need to rest into play. Because I only get in that tight, frantic, hustly place when I'm feeling a sense of lack or scarcity. I never feel like that when I'm trusting that I have all that I need, that my life is abundant, that everything that's meant to be is going to happen. When I'm in that really abundant place, I don't feel hustly. I feel inspired, motivated, creative, and receptive. So I've been feeling a little burned out and a little bit of pressure to hustle lately. So I'm about to take some time and rest and play. That's what I know actually produces the most effortless and joyful results ever. In fact, I was thinking about this and I made this really conscious decision a couple of days ago, and I started clearing my calendar to truly have lots of space to play and rest, putting some projects off for a couple of weeks and know that I can circle back to them. And as I started to do that, someone in my community reached out to me and signed on to do some coaching with me. And it was like, I didn't do anything to have that come my way except be open and receptive and clear some space for it. And that's been my experience every time. Every time I drop the hustle and just become receptive, then life starts to unfold in really, really magical ways. So I hope that's helpful for you today. If you find yourself burnt out, tired, hustling, maybe find some simple ways that you can recharge, rest, and bring some playfulness into your life. Go have some fun and trust that life's going to deliver you exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. All right, see you again soon.